everyone, and welcome to the start of another reading vlog. It is so much later in the evening on Friday than I normally start reading vlogs, but I wanted to do one this weekend, so I wasn't gonna let time stop me. But yeah, it's this weekend. I'm gonna be totally transparent. Clay's and I's life, as reflected in our apartment, is a utter disaster. It's just been a really busy couple of weeks between work and lots of factors. But I really wanted to try to use this weekend to catch up on my reading. We have a few miscellaneous activities like the Red River Rivalry that we are gonna do, but for the most part, a very chill weekend at home. The reason why this vlog started later in the evening than normal is because Clay and I met up after work, which is very, very rare that he gets off in time to meet up in Manhattan. So we took advantage and we ate in Chelsea, which was a lot of fun. But now we're home and likely gonna go to bed really soon. We're gonna watch some Brooklyn Nine-Nine. But I wanted to start the vlog and show off my reading plans and kind of chat through the weekend. Oh, Clay's back with Matilda. And all the boxes. So ignore the sounds of Millie scarfing down her food, but I wanted to go over my reading plans for the weekend. First and foremost, I have Vicious by Ve Schwab. This is a reread for me and a book I've been slowly reading throughout the week. I'm about 200 pages of the way through. Really loving this book. This is a book I really flew through the first time I picked it up, and it feels very much the same on this reread. Vengeful just recently came out and I bought it. It's in my apartment, so this just feels like the perfect time to reread and pick up this book. It's so dark and almost more devious than I even remember, and it's honestly such a perfect October read. And then after I finish this, I want to pick up Devil in the White City by Erik Larsson. This is a style of novel I feel like I haven't read in a while. It's a literary, non-fiction, fiction book about the World's Fair and essentially two different individuals involved, one of them being a murderer who uses the World's Fair as a way to kill a bunch of people. It honestly sounds really scary, so I'm hoping it's not too scary for me. Just been such a long time since I picked up novels that have been acclaimed, if you will, so definitely want to read this as well and maybe continue to read Warbreaker. Sunday is going to be a big reading day for me, as well as tomorrow morning and probably tomorrow evening, so I think I can actually get through quite a bit. My camera died, but it basically cut off with me saying I hope I don't get too scared reading that book because it's scary, but it looks really good. Now I'm in bed with Clay and Matilda, and we are watching Brooklyn Nine-Nine and probably going to bed really soon. And then I'm definitely gonna read some Vicious tonight. You get some, oh, excuse me, reading in. Hi, Millie. Might watch some Great British Bake Off. Things are happening. Throw this toy at me. Clay, oh, Millie, you totally missed. Anyway, time to watch Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Let the reading commence. I apologize in advance. This is probably the least amount of Friday footage I have filmed in a really long time. Just sleepy and kind of a late start to the vlog, but I know like tomorrow and the next day will be much better, so bear with me. But I'm gonna read this. I'm a little over halfway through. This book is so fast to read. The chapters are really short and it's so dark, and Ve Schwab does this thing where she's really good at doing like mini chapter cliffhangers. Like each chapter almost like ends with a bang, which is really great because it just compels you to keep reading, and before you know it, you've read a bunch of pages. But anyway, I'm gonna pick this up, so I'll talk to you later. Oh, Millie's got her toy, I got my book. Good night. It's game day. So first, coffee, bagel, college game day morning for Clayton. Millie is so excited, aren't you, Matilda? You're like, go Longhorns, OU sucks. Anyway, I'm gonna eat, and then we're gonna watch the game. And luckily the game starts really early in the day, so we're gonna have the rest of the evening, and I'm going to read a bunch today. So, but first, I'm gonna eat this food before it gets cold, so I'll check in a bit later. And we're off, wearing our burnt orange, right, Clay?
Welcome.
Hope for the best, and then we're gonna come back and clean. Right, Clay?
Maybe.
Oh. We're winning. Game's over, and we won.
Oh my God, I'm so happy.
It was wild in that bar. I literally cannot hear anything. I thought I was gonna fall through the floor. I might be shouting right now, but we won. And it was Clay's most exciting day probably of his year.
Yeah.
All right, now we're going home. and I'm gonna read. So it's only 4 p.m. I feel like I've had a full day today. Back from the game, we picked up Chipotle, hanging out with Matilda. More football on the television. What a surprise. After I eat though, I'm gonna get to reading, Clay. So Clay and I are really excited because we got new sheets. Such an adult thing to be excited about.
These are the sheets.
Well, we're gonna put them in the washing machine right now, but I figured this could be some good vlog content. Show you guys the new sheets and duvet cover. Oh, can't wait for Matilda to screw these ones up, right, Clay? What are you doing?
You can open it with my mouth.
Oh my gosh. Matilda's already strategizing how she's gonna stain these, but yeah, we got a new duvet cover, which we're excited about, and then new sheets. These are gray. I think they're showing up as gray. They're kind of blue IRL, but it's a nice like soft light gray duvet throw for the living room. So pumped. It's the little things in life. New soft sheets. So excited. Made some coffee. Sitting on the couch. I have Vicious. Quick update. I read about 40 pages last night before I fell asleep at like 11. I fell to sleep really early last night and got over 10 hours of sleep, but Clay's right there on the couch. He's probably gonna nap, but I'm gonna read as much of this as I can, and then I'm going to address that pile and then like the 15,000 boxes we have over there. It's just out of this world. We could build a box fort, Clay. We've been talking about how, you know, we could use a bit more space. We can build, we can extend, we can make an extension.
Yeah, we're subleasing a nice studio apartment box.
Yeah. Was it, remember that Out of the Box show?
No.
You never saw Out of the Box? Out of the box. Out of the box. This is tragic. You never saw their craft time? Wow. I feel like we need to stop what we're doing and watch Out of the Box. Hi everyone, just thought I would check in. Clay's very much asleep, but I have been so dutifully reading on the couch. I've read about 100 pages of Vicious since I've sat down. And I have to say, I'm loving this book, which isn't a surprise because this is a reread and I gave it 5 out of 5 stars, one of my favorite books of all time. So I wasn't really nervous rereading it thinking I would like it less, but it is a relief that I'm liking it just as much as I remember. This book is so dark and full of just all the gray morality that it's just fascinating to read. Something I completely forgot about this story was how much I loved the side characters. Particularly a character named Mitch is one that I just think is so interesting, and he kind of serves as the straight man in the story in that he is one of the only perspectives we read from that don't have extraordinary abilities and therefore have just a kind of like a different mindset. Victor is like, you kind of love him, but you mostly hate him. The book does mess with you though, because your main protagonist is one that you're rooting for to ultimately do like not the greatest of things, and he's not the greatest of persons, and yet you want him to win. So it's a confusing, conflicted feeling that I have while reading this novel, that I'm rooting for what is probably by most definitions a bad guy, but is he doing a good thing? Who knows? But yeah, that's something that I just feel like Ve Schwab does so artfully in this novel, is really exploring the concept of morality, and also like the idea of if a bad person does a good thing, is it alright to root for them? You know, like, and does one good thing make up for a lifetime of bad things? I don't know, but this book is just so dark, and it's very punchy too. The chapters are very, very short, so I just find myself just sitting down and reading it so quickly. It's such a fast read. So yeah, I have a little under 100 pages left. I want to say like 90 pages, so I'm going to continue to sit on the couch while Clay's sleeping and read this, and I think I'll be able to finish it very easily tonight and then pick up Devil in the White City. I think Clay and I are going to try to watch a movie. I think we want to watch what is it called, Clay?
Something Neighbor.
Will You Be My Neighbor? It's the documentary about Mr. Rogers. Clay just like mumbled that in his sleep, by the way. He's like, movement neighbor. So that's kind of the plan for this evening. So I'm gonna read this, gonna watch that. It's gonna be relaxing and nice, and we still need to clean Clay, so we'll do that too. But I'm gonna get back to reading. Oh, Millie's being such a cutie right now. She's like laying so strangely on the couch, trying to snuggle with Clay's leg. Oh, you're so cute, Minnie. Look at your little tail go. Oh, precious. It's happening, and with the help of Matilda not being in the way at all, We're putting our new sheets on. Such an exciting adult day. Sometimes you have to resort to really interesting things to put the duvet in the duvet cover. Clay's a ghost just in time for Halloween.
Ooh.
And we're done. A very subtle change because we used basically the exact same colors and the quilt is still here. But it's new and clean compared to the old duvet, which I had literally since sophomore year of college. So, nice. Also, I'm not sure if I showed, but I changed. Ooh, sorry, bedroom's small. Hello, Matilda. I changed out my rail from like spring, summer to fall, winter, and I love it. Mustards, a lot of this I got last year, but like mustard sweaters are back out. This sweater, which I got like these I all got last year, actually like 90% of this, not just last year, but just have had, and I've kind of had it packed away in the back of my closet, and now I can wear them again. Like, doesn't this just scream holiday? This is a newer, this I showed off on Instagram stories from Anthropology on sale. Oh, so much good stuff in here. Madewell sale. Love it. Bring it on, fall. Hi everyone, so happy to check in with Clay here on his computer. I finished Vicious. I swear, I swear, I absolutely flew through this book this weekend. I haven't had a lot of time to read this past work week, but sitting down today, I quickly read my last 200 pages, which felt almost instantaneous. I really liked this. I'm honestly, oh, Matilda. Finishing it, I'm kind of sitting here curious how Ve Schwab is going to continue on the story and kind of what direction she's going to go in. This definitely felt kind of definitively like a standalone when you kind of get to the end. I don't want to say the word definitively, but it felt wrapped up is what I'm trying to say. Oh, someone's calling. 1 second. Anyway, as I was saying, I really loved this book. Not so much of a surprise as this was a reread for me. The end was still so shocking. This was such a great reread because it's been about 5 years since I read it, and I remember the characters sort of and my general feelings, but I was really surprised and shocked by the twist, and I had the same like satisfaction with just a well-crafted plot by Ve Schwab. Not a satisfaction necessarily implying that like it ended in the way that I wanted, more or less saying that Ve Schwab just kind of does such a great job plotting this book from beginning to end. It's such a thoughtful story that just kind of unfolds in the most fascinating and interesting and dark ways. These characters are not one that you can really anticipate their next move because, well, I have a hard time anticipating their next move because I can't relate to them in any way. They don't really make decisions with the type of like emotional consideration that most people would, which just makes them so unpredictable and so interesting. Oh my gosh, people are calling again. Yes, definitely would still give this book a 5 out of 5 stars. I'm now gonna pick up Devil in the White City by Erik Larsson, which I'm really excited about. Clay and I are also about to start watching Won't You Be My Neighbor, I think it's called, but he wants to watch a bit more of college football. UT won today, so he needs to see where he stands in comparison to everyone else in the world. So I'll read this for a bit and then we'll probably watch that and then I'll check in afterwards. So starting the movie. So excited. Are you excited, Clay?
Very excited.
I think we're gonna cry.
Probably.
Let's get to it.
Reagan.
No!
How'd you like the movie?
I can't talk right now.
Reagan, how'd you like the movie?
It was really good.
It was really good. Show your face, Reagan. Do you like it?
Yeah. So I love that movie. I can't talk about it right now. I'm gonna take a shower and then we'll talk about the movie. Right, Clay?
Yeah.
It was so good. I cried so much. Hi everyone. I'm freshly showered and my tears have ceased and I've come to the bedroom to read. So Mr. Rogers' documentary was incredible. It's just like the most heartwarming look on this truly incredible man who dedicated his entire life to working with children, speaking to children, understanding children, and just being like a positive light and role model for so many people. Like, he touched so many people's lives in positive ways, and like inspired, and I don't know, it was just so wonderful and inspiring, and it just reminds you of nice positive things, and that there are people making a difference amongst even the scariest and most troubling of times. But so, due to the aftermath of this documentary, I was reading Devil in the White City before we started. I read like the first chapter. Really good so far, but this is a book about murderers. It's really dark, and I'm just like not emotionally there right now. I'm still in like a Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood kind of place. So I think I'm gonna pick up Alloy of Law tonight. Quick pivot. I've already read this, so I know what to expect. I just don't think like my emotions can take too much darkness right now. And this is a fantasy novel that's a lot of fun. It's a flintlock fantasy about two detectives kind of in this Mistborn world. Again, I've already read it. It's been a while though, so I guess this is turning into a bit of a rereading weekend. It's short. I think I can read this very, very quickly, and then probably re-pick up Devil in the White City, but I just cannot emotionally handle that right now. It's like a good set of emotions. I'm not sad. I don't know how to describe it. I'm like nostalgic, I'm inspired, I'm like, it's like I'm like mourning my childhood and all sorts of things. It's just a lot. I'm feeling a lot. So yeah, so I'm gonna read now. I'm in my new sheets, which just feels so good. Clay and I were talking about how adult we feel because now we have an extra set of sheets, so when we want to wash our sheets, it's not like a mad scramble to try to get everything done and dry before we want to go to bed, because that's the fear. If you start too late, then you don't have any sheets, so you have to stay up really late till they're dry. Now we have an extra set. Whoa. Okay, I'm gonna leave now. I'm gonna read, so I'll check in later. Morning ritual, YouTube, coffee. Trying to have an early start to the day because I want to get everything I need to get done soon, but I gotta wake up first and then I'll get started. We're headed to Barnes & Noble this morning because there's always a book to be bought. Right, Clay?
Sure.
In a perpetual state of never being able to find what I'm looking for. I assumed it would be on the new release tables, but I was wrong. Okay, so we hunt. Found it. It only took me 45 minutes, and it was right in the front of the store. Classic. Knocking the things off the to-do list, about to start filming one of 2 videos, and then I'm gonna edit, upload, and then it's gonna be football all the time, and reading all the time on the couch with little Miss Magoo. Do you wanna hang out with Mom on the couch and watch football? Yeah? Oh my god. Hello? I'm sorry, my voice is so annoying, but hello, Millie. Her head doing that is my favorite thing. Yeah? It's lunchtime. It means Domino's pizza time. And football time! I finished editing my video, so time to relax a bit, and then I'm gonna get to reading. Alrighty, time to read. I ended up reading about 40 pages of this last night before I fell asleep. It's really entertaining so far, so I'm definitely excited to read more. It is like a Western fantasy mystery style of a book. I love Brandon Sanderson, so I'm sure I will fly right through this. Hi everyone. I've just been sitting here reading and watching football, and I've read about 100 pages of Alloy of Law, and I'm really liking this book. I'm actually liking it more than I remember liking it. When I initially read it like 3-4 years ago, I gave it a pretty low rating, thinking it wasn't, you know, I just thought it was all right. But I don't know, you know, perspectives change. I'm really liking the new character. I think it's a really clever and interesting progression of time in this Mistborn world. I like this sort of Western style setting, and the magic itself has always been centered around the consumption of metals. So adding a flintlock fantasy element of guns and bullets and things like that, which are made of metal, just add a really interesting like addition to the plot, which I'm liking quite a bit. And it's really funny. Brandon Sanderson's funny. I'm reading Warbreaker right now, and this book have like a lot of humor that I wasn't expecting, so I feel like I'm gonna breeze through this book today. But I am gonna take a bit of a break and run to Trader Joe's and pick up groceries to cook dinner tonight and throughout the week and lunch and all of that jazz. So ready to go to Trader Joe's, Clay?
Yeah.
I love Trader Joe's. fun fact. So I was putting the groceries away and Clay somehow snuck 3 pumpkins into the cart and through checkout without me noticing. It's very into fall right now. So now we're all pumpkined out. We also bought one yesterday, so we have 4 pumpkins. I mean, I'm not complaining. I just think it's really funny that they all appeared without me even noticing. So they're all so cute. They're little. Also, life of an Instagrammer is getting really dressed up to just run outside for 5 minutes to take a photo. It's really cute though. Wait, let me show you. Woo! Big fan. It's like a faux suede skirt. This is a sweater I've got a couple weeks ago, just love. And then these boots. Hi everyone, checking in. So sad news, Clay had to go on to work. Yes, it's Sunday night. That's kind of the nature of his job. I have been sitting on the couch reading. I'm now halfway through Alloy of Law, and similar thoughts that I had earlier. I just think this book is so interesting. I love the Mistborn Trilogy. It's one of my favorite series of all time. The world is so cool, and it's definitely just nice to see this world in maybe a more fun light. Mistborn's really dark. And I just really love Wax and Wayne. They're a hilarious duo, and it's a really interesting kind of crime mystery. It's not blowing my mind necessarily, but I am really intrigued and reading through it pretty quickly and not really wanting to put it down, which is really all I wanted. I am gonna take a reading break though and make some dinner. I'm gonna make like southwestern stuffed bell peppers. I think that's what I bought at the store to make, which I'm looking forward to because I'm hungry. So I'm gonna do that now. Matilda is just sleeping on the couch and I'm just gonna be here. I think I'm really gonna be able to finish this, especially now that Clay's not here to distract me. So I'm gonna eat and then I'll get back to reading. So yeah. All right, we're up and away with dinner, sauteing some peppers and some onions, cooking a bunch of quinoa and vegetable stock. Bell peppers in the oven, getting all roasty toasty. So far, so good. Oh, also, turned off football, put the Great British Bake Off on. It's caramel week, guys. Stressful. And you literally add in all of the spices. They get one big ol' happy Southwest family in here. I eat cumin and chili powder for days. Add in all the quinoa, and you basically have dinner and lunch for the entire week, which was my plan. Yummy. And it's done. Time to watch some Great British Bake Off. Ugh, I love Sundays until they're over. Mondays aren't the best. In the bedroom with Matilda, watching football. Mostly about to start reading Alloy of Law again. I also have some Trader Joe's Spicy Cheese Crunchies, which is their hot Cheetos. Overall review is they're pretty good. They're not as good, but they'll do in a crunch. Really, do these interest you? Unfortunately, these aren't pug friendly. So sorry. Hi friends. Officially eaten too many Cheetos, but I have just passed the 2/3 mark of Alloy of Law. Really liking it, and the banter between Wax and Wayne is something I really like. It also feels kind of like a reimagined, very classic crime, serialized crime novel with like the Mistborn twist. Yes, there are some elements where I'm kind of like, because it feels like it's kind of an old school crime novel. He's definitely using some of the tropes that I usually don't love in crime novels. I don't like serialized crime really, but I do like this, so I think that's a plus. Am I making sense? It's kind of late. I'm getting tired. I am really liking this book. I think the mystery is interesting. It has like this wild, wild west feeling to it. My favorite part is definitely just the revisiting of the magic system, which I loved so much in Mistborn. So it's cool to see it like working in other types of settings. Brandon Sanderson is just so good. Ugh. I'm curious what the other ones are about. Shadow of Self, The Demands of Morning. I guess there's only one way to find out, just to read them. But yeah, I'm gonna read a bit more. It's like 10:30 right now. I'm getting pretty tired, so I don't want to dally. I need to get started. I need to keep going. I need to keep reading. Hi everyone. Just checking in. I'm kind of killing the reading game right now. Only 50 pages left of Alloy of Law, and I'm feeling great. I'm feeling really tired. I did that thing where you try to drink water laying down and you spill it all over yourself. Just me that does that. I'm trying to think of things that I haven't already said about this book in fear of being redundant. I mentioned how I really enjoyed the companionship between Wax and Wayne. I've mentioned that while it's generally using tropes of serialized crime fiction, which I'm not generally a fan of, I am enjoying its use case in this with the combination of magic, though some of the more traditional aspects of that narrative is present and probably my least favorite part of the story, but I like the characters enough that I can overlook it from an entertainment value. I think my favorite element is the not even the reimagining, but the continued expansion on different ways that the allomancy works in this world, because it's just fascinating. Allomancy meaning the magic system. It's just so freaking cool. I think what makes this book the most interesting though is it just shows how large the Mistborn world is and how many different stories that can exist within it without it being like unbelievable stakes. Which, first going to this novel, it feels weird because the Mistborn Trilogy is so intense, much like the Stormlight Archives, that it's like life or death. Stakes of the existence of everyone in this book rides on these characters' decisions. And while there's definitely a lot of lives at stake in this book, it's not nearly to the same stakes as the Mistborn Trilogy. So it just kind of shows that like the world can exist in a smaller level of intensity and still be incredibly entertaining and still have a lot to say, which just makes me excited, and I hope, and also makes me really intrigued to see where the other trilogy like exists and takes off from, Shadow of Self being the next book. So definitely excited to pick that up as well. This book isn't mind-blowing necessarily, but it is highly entertaining, and I just love Brandon Sanderson's writing so much, and his humor even. I feel like I'm so boring right now. I feel like a robot. It's because I'm tired. So I think I'm going to go to bed really soon. I'm going to try to finish this book, but if I don't check in, it's because I fell asleep with all my lights on. Classic. But yeah, I ended up being pretty good job reading this weekend. Finished Vicious, over 200 pages. This is over 300 pages, so not a record weekend like last vlog, but still pretty decent. I guess I could count my 10 pages I read in Tale of the White City that I read yesterday, but I'm, you know, whatever. Anyway, I'm gonna sleep now. I'm sorry. I feel like I'm so boring. Okay, bye. Hi everyone. It is the customary end of the vlog the next day. Yes, I'm wearing really literally the same outfit I briefly featured that I wore on Sunday. That being said, time to talk through the books I ended up reading this weekend. On accident, this weekend turned into quite a little bit of a reread fest. I've read also a pretty decent amount. Happy to say I finished Alloy of Law last night, which is a total of 332 pages, so not bad. And then I read 200 pages of Vicious, so all in all 532 pages read this weekend, which I'm happy with. I'm gonna take it. I'm not gonna be too hard on myself. That being said, let's quickly dive into the books. First, I completed the last 200 pages of Vicious by Ve Schwab. This was a reread for me, which I already kind of mentioned. This is a really interesting novel that follows two best friends, college roommates turned arch nemesis, and they basically have superhero powers. This book is particularly interesting because it explores the gray morality that these characters have. And it kind of is interesting because you don't really like anyone, and yet you're rooting for a bunch of bad people who are trying to do a good thing, but perhaps for selfish reasons. It's a really interesting novel. I'm excited to dive into the sequel, Vengeful. Particularly interested to see where Ve Schwab takes his story. That being said, 5 out of 5 stars. Was a great reread. Happy to have read it. Then I picked up Alloy of Law by Brandon Sanderson. I feel like I never actually gave a very clear synopsis while I was reading this book over the weekend. This is the first book to what I believe is a series by Brandon Sanderson. It's set in the Mistborn world that follows two new main characters. Our main character is called Waximilian, and he is like a, you know, a rich lord turned outlaw sheriff. He moves to the Roughs, which is kind of like the Wild Wild West in this world, and he brings order to the land. However, he has to return back home and take over his family house again once his uncle dies. And he tries to basically get out of crime, but he gets pulled back in when a mystery starts happening where women and trains start to vanish. This is a fun book. I liked it quite a bit. The characters were funny. I thought the mystery was good, and I also liked the flintlock fantasy element, the Western element within the Mistborn world. I thought was interesting. It does fall back on some serialized crime tropes that I don't love necessarily, But overall, I found this book to be really entertaining, and I think the next one should be even better. I don't know if the Shadow of Self and Bands of Mourning follow the same characters. Matilda, what are you getting into over there? All in all, I say this was a good book. I actually liked it more upon my reread than my initial reading of it, which is always a nice sign. So I definitely would give this like a 4.5 out of 5 stars. So that is my reading weekend. Hope you guys enjoyed this reading vlog, and I'll see you soon with another one soon. Goodbye.